Hello and welcome to Intimate Lens. I'm Dr. Katz, and today we're going to discuss tips and tricks about tampons that we teach our patients. Let's share them with you. Use whichever one it is that you like to use, that fits your budget, that's available by you. Just make sure. Never use a scented tampon. We do not want to disrupt the ecosystem in the vagina. We do not want to disrupt the balance of the bacteria in the vagina. So never a scented tampon. Other than that, use whichever one it is that you like to use, or a variety pack if you go through the different absorbency sizes through your periods. Should you use a tampon or a menstrual cup? We cannot tell you. You use whichever one it is that you want. Both can work equally fine. Both have their camps of loyalty. Depends on your preference, depends on your budget, depends on what's available in your area, depends on your logistics of use. If you're in public and you use public bathrooms, it's going to be a little more complicated to use a cup, because what do you do to rinse it unless you carry water with you or have a spare one you can use in the stall? But other than that, it's totally up to you. Just make sure that if you do not use a tampon or a cup, it is not because your vagina is not yours. If you have vaginismus, please seek help and make a vagina yours, and then you can decide whatever you would like to use, and that will be fine. Should I remove a tampon when I void? Not necessarily. Some women do, some women don't. The thread could get wet. When you have a bowel movement, it could get dislodged or moved about. It is totally your choice. Please remember that the vagina is not your urethra. The vagina sits right below your urethra, your urine tube. So when you urinate, it does not come from the vagina, it comes from the urethra, so the tampon is safe in your vagina. The string may not be, the string may get wet, but the tampon is safe. And the same with bowel movement. It's a whole different canal. So let's just make sure everybody understands that there's those three canals: the urethra, the vagina, and the rectal canal. The tampon sits in the vagina. We urinate from the urethra. We have a bowel movement from the rectal canal, right? Would you have worse cramps with a tampon? Not really. Sits below your cervix and absorbs whatever drips down from the cervix. Sort of like you put a cup under the faucet. It does not affect the faucet, it just collects the drippage from the faucet. So you should not have any different cramps by using a tampon. Will my period be shorter or longer using a tampon? Again, the tampon does not affect the hormonal process of menstruation, but you may notice that your period is slightly shorter. And that is because the tampon will efficiently collect the bleeding before it seeps down the entire length of the vagina, and it may appear, therefore, to last less days. But it is really just because of the collection feature of the tampon, not because it really affects your menstruation. I can still feel my tampon. That means that the tampon was not pushed up enough, and therefore when you sit or if you walk, it feels like you have a pencil between your vaginal lips. What about at night? Yes, you may sleep with a tampon. That's perfectly safe and fine. Just don't forget to remove it in the morning. How do you know when the tampon is full? There is an inherent sense in the body that tells you the tampon is full. Doesn't mean it leaks, doesn't mean anything is bad. Obviously, it's not going to fall out, but it feels full. Sort of like, you know, when your tummy is happily content with the amount of food you had. There is a sense of fullness, but not bad, just fullness. This way you typically know. Should you remove a tampon before you bathe or you shower? For shower, it is your choice. Water doesn't get into your vagina anyway, so it does not affect the tampon. For taking a bath, the tampon will absorb water. If the tampon is full, it may drip a little bit of redness into the water. But again, it does not matter. It's the same as going swimming with a tampon. It just sits there. It becomes a water plug or a blood plug. Just when you take it out, do it maybe over the toilet in case there is some more blood above the tampon. You don't want it dripping on your carpet on the floor. So just use caution when you remove the tampon. Do it over the toilet. If you remove the tampon when you shower, take into consideration that if you're on a very active day of your period, blood will begin to come down your vagina, and therefore the new tampon you'll put in could be already absorbing blood all the way to the vaginal opening. You may want to have a liner available as well, just in case. Should I remove the tampon if I engage in non-penetrative sexual activities? Meaning on the clitoris, oral, manual, rubbing, what have you, masturbation, what have you. You don't necessarily have to. The tampon could safely stay inside and you could engage sexually as long as obviously nothing goes into the vagina, right? You already have a tampon there. This is just one visitor at a time. Can the tampon get lost in the vagina? Such a common question. The answer is, and where would it get lost about? The vagina is a dead-end canal. It's about that long. That's it. Where can the tampon go? It ends at the upper part of the vagina. It's not the digestive system that starts at the mouth and ends at the anal canal, and along the way there are many feet of intestines. The vagina is just what it is. Anything could be fished out. Nothing gets lost there. Could be forgotten. You do not want to forget a tampon in you, but can never ever get lost. No worry about that. And the last point, what about toxic shock syndrome or TSS? The reason why many women would be afraid to use tampons. Let's get it sorted out. TSS is a bacterial infection, a combination of strep and staph infection that happens to males and females, and it presents in different scenarios, not necessarily menstruating women. It happens after surgery, it happens with wound healing, it happened after burns, it happened with ulcers, a variety of situations. It is not really an infection directly related to tampons. So where did the association happen? Back in the late 70s, there was a production of a new tampon called Rely, R-E-L-Y, and they used for it a novel absorbent material that was supposed to make it fabulously efficient. Turned out this material was the cause of TSS, and it was quickly removed from production. But the association remained. People became hesitant, disclaimers were put on boxes, rumors abound, fantasy grows, people don't check the actual facts, and the end result is, oh, I cannot use tampons because of TSS. So tampons are safe as long as you change them regularly and you don't forget them. You don't forget that you have one inside you for days on end, or that you put one inside you and you put a second one and change the second but not the first. Those are not good situations. Make sure to seek medical help immediately if that's your case, or if you're not feeling well. So to summarize, they're safe and good. Please spread the word. Share with other women. Let's dispel myths about tampon use. Please like, subscribe, share with others, and we'll see you next time.